Hello, gods and goddesses, ladies and gentlemen, beings of the physical and the non-physical. First, I want to introduce myself. I am Ra-N-Ell, and I'm going to speak from the aspect of Ra-N-Ell, and we're going to bring forth the Mothership tonight, the great Mothership, because the Mothership has been activated. I repeat, the Mothership has been operated, and Ra is at the helm tonight. So the Great Mother has given me a small preview of her ship, and she took me to the cockpit right in the center, and she showed me a few things. She's been talking to her son all week, and I had to be real patient and let it just circulate around that top orbital of the head, and just let it come on down through the heart and going down into the core, where everything just breaks apart and splits up in this perfect order as she weighed it out. And as my heart got lighter and lighter and lighter, the information, the download just went down and circled back around. And then she told me she's ready. She's ready to land her ship. She's ready to let go of her gift and let it out and share it. So we're going to share, and we're going to incorporate, and we're going to teach, learn, and learn, teach. And we're going to review it first before we make the grand entrance into the Mothership. So let us start. Let us start. We're going to do it first. We're going to do a small review. We're going to do a small review because right here we've been talking about the Mother Goddess, and we've been talking about how she is the measure of all things. And we've been talking about how all things tie back to one thing, that center axis. Some want to say the ISIS. But I'm going to say that it's all priceless. Because as we step into the eye of the Jedi, we step into the Sith, and we put it all together, and we integrate, and we take that which we need and resonates with us, and we leave that which does not, to let it circulate back around so that we may have a chance to review it again, look at it, analyze it, have compassion, empathy with it, merge with it, forgive ourselves, and allow these new births of the Mother to be a part of us as we get on the Mothership and we descend right out of here and ascend into a whole new level of existence. Let's keep going. Now, before we're going to look at the being again, because we've been talking about energy. We've been talking about the words or the birds. We've been talking about the sine wave, because we know the sine wave is just so important, because it is a measure. What is it a measure of? We see the sine, we see the cosine, and we see down at the bottom the algebraic equation. Now, I've been telling everybody that the Mothership is the Mayat, is the math, is the algebra, is the Gibraltar. This is the big ship. This is the ship that Noble Drew Ali mentioned. This is the same ship that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about. This is the same ship that all dreams, all movies are based on. And we're going to look at this ship, because this ship has many names. Some call it the Great Dragon. Some call it the Great Mother. Some call it the Great Snake. But we're going to look at it. We're going to break it down for what it is. And we're going to do it very eloquently and very fast. As we look at the dragon, we look at her and her glory, this great universe, this great multiverse, this great harmony, this great song. We're going to tie it all together and look at the big picture one more time so we can see that this is us. And it is all things. This is the dust. This is the smoke. This is the gas. This is the non-ether all the way to the zero ether. This is the elements on the periodic table. This is wind. This is magnetism, electricity, all things intertwined, breathing. Let us keep going. As we step inside her womb, I want to take us to this picture right here. As we start to center stand, both sides, all sides, still seeing that we only really seeing just one picture because we know as above, so below. What you're going to see on the right, you're going to see on the left. What you're going to see diagonal right, you're going to see diagonal left down. We know things invert. Things mirror each other, mirror image. We're putting all these concepts together tonight as we enter into the mothership, as we enter into the chalice. We talked about the chalice. We talked about how energy moves, the principles, the law of one, the unified field. We ain't in our minds. We ain't in our shoulders. We're not in our throats. We ain't even in our root. We're in the whole body. We're in the whole dragon. So we're going to do like Bruce Lee. We're going to enter the dragon so we can see the soul glow of the mother and her ship. So we talked about the bull. We talked about the horns. We talked about how the energy flows in the middle and how it comes down, and how it circulates around, comes down from the head, from the shoulders actually, comes from the shoulders, and it just flows through the core and come out through the legs and circulate back around on both sides. We're seeing this divine sine wave. But tonight we're going to get the total overview, because we saw, when we looked at the direction of time, when we looked into her chalice, we see on the left-hand side, as we're looking down, we see the past influence diagonal coming through the shoulder part. And we see the future time coming in on the right-hand side, coming down on the shoulders. And we see the result of the light coming out and the apparent time that's created going to the right, the future. And we see the light coming out on the back side, which is going to be the past. And we know that we have a black hole on the top. And we know we have a white hole on the bottom. And we know that these holes ain't just white and they ain't just black. They could be many different colors. So we put these concepts and these drawings together so we can look at the chalice. And we can get out of this the concept of just the pyramid. It's understanding that the pyramid can be turned upside down. And when we invert this triangle, now we have a different center standing. We see the energy coming down. And we know how Mama's ship works, how her chalice works, how her core works, how her imaging works when she mirrors herself to the bottom. And we see the singularity coming together right there in the center point of the core. And we see the event horizon, what gets down by the heart center, when it passes through that gate and then goes into the core of all things, the center of her, the center of where she breaks all things apart, whether it's food, whether it's elements, whether it's liquid, whether it's gas, and it's restricted out on both sides. And we see the even distribution coming out both sides of the legs. And we see the shadow being mirrored, giving us the clues that as above, so below. As one reality is created on the top, the inverse is created on the bottom. We see the technology. We see that the technology is not just in the third eye in the head, that the head swirls up into the higher ethers of the thought realm. But these thoughts have to be brought down and brought into solidity, brought into fruition, and it needs time to cycle back around, both past and present things. We keep looking. We look at the divine Y, the Y-axis, how all things have symmetry, and how this Y, this triune, this tricycle, these 3 points is really 4 because of the center axis, the singularity, the unified field, the one creator in this oneness, tying all things together in the center and central point. We see the Y-axis of energy. the three phase, the A phase, the B phase, the C phase, all in harmony, harmonizing with each other. We see the divine sine wave, or the Milky Way galaxy, or what we're going to call the galactic center. Center in all things at the 0 point where my hand is at the nose. And we see that these points, where these points intersect, where they intersect, as I drew it before, creating a spark of light called the proton, with these divine curves, these arcs of the covenant. As you look at the angles on the wheel beside it, you look at the 30 degree, you look at the 60 degree, you look at the 90 degree. You see how the 0 and the 360 degree is at the same point, how the sine wave wraps back around upon itself. These are the lessons of Mama. These are the lessons. We started off, we had the review where we talked about the meiosis versus the mitosis, and how the meiosis precedes the mitosis, and how the meiosis, the splitting of the cells, the splitting of the egg before sexual reproduction, is the foundation, the daughter cells, the gametes, as some call them in science, and many different words as they name these parent cells. But these foundation, fundamental cells, these four daughters, or these four pillars, we see that in the process of mitosis. As mitosis happens, that is cellular reproduction, like of your skin, just a perfect image. But the four daughters is a little different, because they have all of the DNA, all the genetic material, all of the primal material of his mother, but just in a different configuration. Like having 4 twin daughters, but all of them looking different. Let's keep going. We see how the cells, the 4 daughters, still in the sac, still being in one unified field, still using the laws of polarity, still using the laws of vibration, still using the laws of separation, but still having a combined essence of a group or a community acting with one purpose. We see it in different ways as we look at the meiosis. We look at the core, where the motherboard is. We see how where the head is, of the top orifice. We see how the true mother, the true goddess, has been lowered. That is your Lord. She has been lowered to a safe place in the core, such as the earth. Mother Earth has her core, and she has her central sun, the black sun, the melanin, the dark matter. So we look in this process of meiosis, and we see the center cell, the first one, with all of the primal material, with all the elements, with all the sound, with all the gas. As we know, a solid is a liquid, is a gas. As we know, heat causes the density of these same materials to change form and transmute to a different energy. As we know, and we learned in iron, we learned, we saw the energy need not be created, we are destroyed. It only transmutes and changes forms. What appears to die only takes life in a different way. We learning the lessons of our mama. We learning the lessons. We look here at this chart and studying energy and studying the sine wave and studying how these things spiral out, the spindle. Knowing the wheels, how the wheels turn. We see what is created here. If you look at the cosine, you look at what's going down, vertical, you will see it says real. I mean, you'll see it says imagine, imaginary. This is what it will appear as. And we see the real going in the opposite direction. So we see that the parallel realities, if you have a physical being, there must be a non-physical being. If there's a black being, there must be a white being. there's a blue being, there must be a green being. So when we have these polarities, when we have these curves, and as the curves intersect, they create the line, or they create the spark, or the divine spark. And we know this to be the arc, or the spark of the covenant. So as we look in the divine chalice of our mother, and we see and we go deeper into matter, we go deeper into the nucleus, and we see the quarks, and we see the triune again, the up, up, down, the down, down, up, the plus, plus, minus, the minus, minus, plus. But you don't see anything new. It's all the same thing, whether it's gas, whether it's liquid, whether it's solid, whether you're an ant, whether you're a human being, whether you're a mixture of the two, whether you're a reptilian, whether you're a reptilian human, all of these things are going to be created by the mother. And as we start to look at and center stand and just get out of our totally out of our head and get into the whole technology of the vessel and get into the core, we're going to see the winged goddess. We're going to see what our ancestors was trying to show us. And I'm going to show us, and I'm going to share this because she shared it with me. So I'm going to share it with the world. So we're going to see the whole picture. Tonight, we're going to do it together. And y'all giving me the opportunity to share it with you. Let's keep going. As we center stand, when we start to see charts, diagrams of our ancestors, the signs, the symbols that they have left us, and they showed us how these zodiacs and how these constellations and how these stars and how our molecules and how our blood and how our organs, our planets, how they orbit, how they move, how they are mirrored all throughout the body. Nothing is left out. There is no root chakra that's just going to start at your coccyx and go up to your head and that's it. No, you have technology, you have zodiacs that go and extend from that same root point and go down the same way as you're looking at it right here. We want to see what our ancestors were showing us. And I have it right here. We want to see how, when we looked at the zodiac, the great cosmic, the galactic zodiac that's on your left-hand side, and we see one of the representations of the great mother in her humanoid form, how she's stretched out, and she's showing you that all of this is me. I'm everything, and I'm none of it. I can step out of it, I can step into it. So when we look at this bull or this Hathor or this goddess Isis or Sekhmet, I can show it to you in all kind of ways. Or we can move over here, Quetzalcoatl and Amurka and all of the mythology that's here. When you understand what they was trying to show us, it's going to be very amazing because the mothership is here. I'm just previewing it. I'm previewing, and we looking at these things, and we just don't really see the whole picture because for some reason we don't remember. We don't remember where we come from. We don't remember the star story. We don't remember how everything starts off and how it finishes, how the start is the ending, how the beginning is the ending, how all things are paradoxical and resolve themselves, how all chaos can be organized into harmony by using the law of one, by understanding that all things are one. And with that, as one of the representations of the great mother, as she holds her wings down and she's hovering over us as we receive these wise symbols and message. She's ready to descend to show you her full glory. So as we do that, as we center stand and we step inside of the mothership, as we step inside the matrix, and we still just seeing a itty bitty piece of it from one side, we're about to step all the way into the matrix, decode it, see how it works, because the matrix is in you, is all around you, is outside of you. The force is in you, is all around you. So we're going to learn, we're going to understand how to use this force, how the mothership works, because we are her children. We are her children. And as a great mother would do, she's going to teach her child everything she knows. As we look at it up a little closer, and we start to see the microcosm and the micro, the underworld under our skin, or mid-guard, looking at ourselves through the mirror, or standing in the air, looking at the heavens, as we see these circles, these flowers, these spears of life, and we see these giant celestial spears coming together to form a nucleus. And we see the intertwangling, the intermingling, the influences, the integration of all things. Now I present to us all, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? When we look at this great chart that's in the temple of Dendera, the temple of Hathor in the ceiling, and as I laid her shadow on top of it, and I started to preview the sky map in the heavens, and started to map it out so we can see what constellations, Centauri. We get over here and we see Orpheus. We start to understand all these things. What does it all mean? Cygnus, Lyra, Vega, Hercules, the Booties. What are they trying to show us? Umma, Inmi, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor. When we look at the ecliptic, we start to understand Aries over there to the right, and the path of the sun, and as it flows through, we still only seeing a small piece of the great celestial spear. I introduce to you all the great mothership. Let us look at it from many different views, and we step into it and we understand the great mothership. When we understand the great celestial spear, the great egg of the dragon, and we look at the center and we see the galactic belt, and we see the Milky Way galaxy, and we look at all the superstar clusters all around that creates this great egg. I said it, an egg, a great dragon's egg. Let's look at it some more. Let's look at what all our brothers and sisters who has taken the journey, who stepped outside of themselves to look at the great celestial spear, look at the egg, look at the primal material, the primal fascia. Look at the Orion's Nebula to the right, tiny Orion. They talk about it so greatly as if it's all things, the great crusaders. But they're only a small part of the mama, of her ship. As you look at all the other great crab, Centaurus, the Virgo cluster, you go around the Cygnus, Perseus, when you look at all of these great titans, when you look at the great mother dragon, the great titan herself, then you understand, no Olympic gods can ever cut the head off of mama. No Olympic gods can ever topple a titan. You're looking at one of the great titans in her glory. You're looking at the great dragon. And all who want to talk about the reptilians and they're so bad and they're so this and they're so that. No, they're you too. They're inside of you as they're inside of your mother. And as you look at Andromeda and you look at all these different places of the ants, let's dive into it a little bit. Let's look inside of the great mother in the Milky Way as her plane. Let me show you a better depiction. Because now we're taking it all the way so you can see the great spear and see how your earth is mapped to it. Because we're going to go in advanced class and I can show you each one of these constellations are mapped to a country, geographical location. I can show you Columbia, the British Columbia. I can show you America. I can show you Aquila, the great Roman Empire, all mapped to the great mother. I can show you right there, you look right there, you see the great Orpheus, the 13th zodiac, and Scorpius right there at the galactic center. Let's look at some more depictions so we can really look at the great mother. We're going to go real deep into this because it was through the seeking and me opening the chalice that mama spoke to me and she showed me her egg. As you look at the great sine wave, the great Milky Way, and the great galactic egg, the cosmic spear, the galactic spear. All things, all of us, anything that you can imagine in the known visible universe is inside of her. And you see the dark part, they call it the galactic center, the galactic belt. And as you look at Scorpius in the center, that's your galactic center. Now, you want to know, because I wanted to know when I cried out to mama, all of the mamas. I said, mama, where am I? Where am I going? Who am I? Where am I at? And where am I going? And just those questions, those sincere seeking questions, because I wanted to know. All my life, somebody kept telling me stories, saying it was his story, that it was my story, but something in my soul, the great mother, she spoke and she said, no, son, that's not your story. Your story is a mystery. And so me seeking the mystery of my mother, the mystery of myself, mama led me to all of this. Mama led me right to it. And I wanted to know, where am I, mama? You showing me all of this. You showing me the galactic egg. You showing me I'm a spherical being. I'm a spear. I have all this around me, inside of me. It's mirrored all kind of ways. You showing me the understanding of all this. But show me where I'm at. And she took me right to it. Let me share it. See, she was carrying the galactic egg on her head the whole time. Carrying it, showing us. She's showing you the cherry on top, the pie or the pie, the equation, the golden spiral. But we was only seeing bits and pieces. So we had to open up. Let me show you what I'm saying. What I want to show you. Let's just look at it in its glory. Look at all the colors. See, when you get on your high dose of some shrooms or some DMT or something like that, something to open you up, natural by her, them roots, them herbs, these are the type of things you see. Billions upon billions of colors, of creation, of diversity. You don't see the pettiness, the arguing, the tearing each other apart. The I'm this, I'm that, I created this, I created that, I'm the elite. No, that's the tricks of the Jedi. Too much light will blind you. Sometimes you need to close your eyes and rest, son, so mama can speak to you. You in your head, son. You think you know it all. But I've been around longer than you. Mama would tell you. And ain't nothing new under the sun, son. You think you know, but no, stop. And no, you know not. Because you've only seen only a small piece. Very humbling. This whole journey, very humbling. Only to end up with this. Diversity, colors upon colors, intermingling, intermeshing. These are galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies. With the Milky Way being the center. Being the center. But let me show you where we at. If you want to know specifically. Because she showed it to me. And I'm going to show it to you. So you're exactly where you at in the galactic. You right in the center of it. Just as I suspected. Right in the center of it all. Let me get this bigger picture. There we go. Woo! Woo, that made me feel great. When I was able to find out where my geographical location. How can I find myself in this great mess? Where are we? Oh, okay, here we go. We right here beside Andromeda, her sister. Right by Venus, her other sister. Right by the Great Bear. Now I got some bearings. I got some bearings now. Now I can find my way. Find my way. By using these star maps. Center standing. Where we at? Let's look at it some more. So we can see that we are in the galactic center. Earth is right in the center of it all. Because she's going through judgment. We all going through judgment. And who's going to judge? You're going to judge yourself. That's how the system is designed. Because you can only take with you what you're willing to keep. What you're willing to keep. Will you allow someone else to turn your wheel? I told you this is a story about a mother and her son and her child. This whole big cosmic chess game. This whole big galactic saga. It's about a mother and her son. It's about a son, about a mother who knew not how she birthed this immaculate son. And as his son started to grow and grew bigger and stronger, as he thought his mother, certain things happened. Hold on, right for 1 second. Sister, take over. I got to pick up something from the door. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. We'll just wait for Brother Ra-N-Ell to come on back and drop this science to the people. Again, we have the chat. If anyone wants to make any comments, you can put those in the chat if you have any questions and concerns. Also, when it comes time for questioning, you can *6 if you're on the phone, or you can unmute if you're on the computer. To ask any questions or leave comments, concern, or share your knowledge, okay? If you have any knowledge on these subjects, we would love to hear from you. And if you are listening to this for the first time on YouTube,
Go ahead, sister, keep talking. I'm back, but I'm trying to find another view so we can see where we at on this galactic map. Yeah, here we go. Starting to see. We're right here in this center of this spear, this golden spear. Think of this as the motherboard. This is the motherboard of the Lord. And right now she's right there in the center. And if we understand the spiritual system, if we understand math, my act, the equal sign, if we go back to about the 6th grade, when we started to learn algebra, all things can be solved. If we understand the X and the Y axis, and how division is inverse to multiplication, and plus is inverse to minus, and that a minus sign ain't nothing, a plus sign ain't nothing but 2 minus signs. One turned 90 degrees to the other. And we understand this right here, we're going to get into some things. We understand how the matrix, how the womb, how the word matrix means womb. When we understand the bend of ourselves, and how we have to let things bend, cycle around. Things are spherical. They're all straight lines, or just the illusion, or the holographic nature of this reality. But it ain't real, but it is. That's the whole paradox of it. It's breathing in and out. It's resting. We're looking at her in a different view, a different angle, as we see the in and out, the breathing, the angles. As we understand that a circle or a spear is a line, is a spear, is a line, is a curve. When we understand that the L is the right triangle, the hyperboloid, and this is a hyperboloid, or a torus field, torsion field. This is the conduit. These are the visible cords and strings. And Mother Earth in her form and glory is right in the center. And Grandma Celestial Spear is on the outer, holding it all together. So when we understand the circuit, as we look at it, as the sun in the middle, the dark sun, or the earth itself, because it's sitting in the middle, right there, with the central band wrapping around it, and the matrix and the visible cords and strings holding it all together. You're looking at the dragon's egg, you're looking at the celestial spear, and know that there are infinite more of these, and they all tie together. And there are infinite more of these in the microverse, going in the inverse direction. So understand these things. So understand where you at inside of the celestial sphere, inside the cosmic sphere, inside the mothership, inside the chip. So understand that there are no enemies until you make an enemy. So understand that all things are you. That all of these things are the elements of the Most High, the Most Low, and the Most Mid. I can go on and on and on and on. And I can keep showing you all these different examples of the same thing, of the sky, of the space. We look at the birds on the side to understand what is this representing. This is representing this. Let's look at it. I got it all right here. Mama been talking to me all week. And I just been quiet and listened. And she showed me. She showed me how all these things are upside down. And how this reality is an upside down or inverted reality. And that diagonal down or diagonal up, there's another reality that's right side up. So understand this. When you see our ancestors and they lay down, as you see the goddess lay down in the casket, so understand that she's showing you the cosmic egg. She's showing you the celestial heavens. She's showing you, if you look right there on the second level, you're going to see the great mother Draco and her depiction as the dragon or the hippopotamus or the Hippolaya, and you see the little girl right there behind the bull, or her daughter, who's going to have a son. When we see the bend, we see what we're looking at. We're looking at this, the same depiction when he's holding his hands up, showing you the bend, showing you this. Let me show it to you. Because this is just the beginning. This is general. We can get it specific. All things can be created from this. Let me show you what I want to show. Right here. When we look at the Milky Way galaxy, and we see the both sides, we see the horn, we see the cup, we see the sine wave. When we're looking at it, and we're looking at the bend, we're looking at the incline, the slope, how energy is coming down, how it levels out, how it rests, and how it goes back up, and how it can inverse. And we understanding that if you look up on the top left, you're going to see Cygnus that looks like a bird. And then you're going to see on the other side, on the right-hand side, you're going to see Perseus. And if I showed you and you draw it out, you're going to see that's a bird. So you see the birds on both sides. So you understand that when you look back and you look at the picture we just looked at, let's look at it again. So we understand what our ancestors were showing us. We see the bend, his knees bending down, and you see the two birds on each side, showing you the galactic egg. He got it on top of his head, with the cobras coming out, showing you the knowledge and the wisdom of the great mother snake, the great mother dragon, because a snake becomes a bird. A snake has been, a snake became from a worm to a snake, from a snake to a bird. Bird was mixed with man. This is where you have the consciousness of Ra. These are avian or bird type beings, what they call Canarians or Aryans. Know that the snake was mixed with the humanoid. This is where you have the Naga or the Nagini or the genie or the jinn. Know that the humanoid was mixed with the ant. This is where you have Andromeda or the ant people. Or you look at the Yaojua, as some men want to call them the predators. These are not predators. These are ancestors. These are me. These are you in our different forms. This is what our ancestors are showing us right here. This is what these images represent. Showing you man was mixed with everything. And everything has been intermixed with everything. There is no one thing. You've been lied to. You've been bamboozled. And all these things exist within you. They're already in you. No extraterrestrial don't have to come from out no space, from outside of nowhere. We all inside of the cosmic egg. Yes, there are shells and skin that is wrapped around this space. But know that even with the most quarantine, it doesn't even matter, because all of these elements are inside of you and outside of you. That the past is working its way towards the present, and the future is working its way towards the present that makes the now. All things are one. All things are intertwined. Look at her hands. Look at the ends of her. She's grabbing the rope, the dominion, showing she got full comprehension of how to navigate, how to go through the wormhole, how to get from one eagle, from the other eagle to the other falcon or the vulture. It doesn't matter. All things are one. Let us keep going, because all I can do is just keep going over and over and showing you that all these things, these spiral galaxies, are all within one shell called the celestial sphere. There is no separation. Things separate. Things come from one thing. It's alchemy. You have all of what they call the primal material, the primal fascia. You have your acid. Your acid is used to separate things. You have your base. Your base is used to bring it back together. You have your pH, which is the 7, is in the middle. All things can be extracted and condensed and put back together with these two movements. It's not hard. With 2 drops of blood, they can clone any one of us. You can take 2 plants. They don't have to have sex or anything. It's called pollinize. Pollen. Just the air will take one sex of one species of plant, and the air will carry it to another species of plant, and the seeds will come out as a hybridation or or integration of those 2 species. It's that easy. So when someone makes you think that you're so high, you by yourself, you are the all, they are right and they're wrong at the same time. Because you are a free agent. Yes, one of these are you have a will. But most of us don't know how to operate the wheels. They stuck still in their head, turning 3 wheels. That's just one spear. You have a spear around your throat. There's a spear around your chest. There's a spear around your solar plex. There's a spear around your belt, around your waist. There's a spear around your reproductive system. There's a spear around your thighs. There's a spear around your knee, your kneecaps. It's a spear around your shin. A spear around your ankles. There's a spear around your balls of your foot. There's a spear around your foot. There's a spear around each toe. Spears upon spears upon spears upon spears, interlacing, gas. Person want to show me, want to talk about gas, and oh well, how's gas? I don't see the gas part in this. Let me show you. See, all principles can be magic to you, and only just technology to someone else, because they know you know not. So to you, it's magical. So let's get into the non-ether, the gas, the noble gases. This is a more primal energy, less dense than matter. Let's see it. Let's see the spirit body. Let's see the gas body. Let's see the nitrogen, the hydrogen, the oxygen. When someone want to tell me, oh, I'm a carbon being, I'm 666. No, you're not. You're a hydrocarbon. You're hydrogen. You're oxygen. You're nitrogen. You're argon. You're 9 noble gases mixed into one. You're 144 elements altogether. 9. Completion of a cycle. Let's look at it. Let's look at the cycle of Mama so we can understand her degree. When someone comes to with a little 33 degree, 90 degree, 60 degree, you're not impressed. You're not a weed. You're not, praising nobody. They know science. They know ions. They understand the states of matter, the three states, the tricycle, and the clear that holds it all together. They understand density, that you can have the same amount of matter, and you can condense the matter and put it in and make it tighter, smaller. Put more into a volume or a vacuum or a container. And you know with spin and heat, you can turn that same solid, I don't care what kind of solid it is, you can turn it into liquid. And with spin and heat, I don't care what kind of liquid it is, you can turn it into gas. And I can inverse the process and turn all that gas right back to solid or liquid. No problem. Let's keep going. Let's understand the matrix. Let's understand mama. Let's understand phase, sun, earth. Let's understand the triune, the tricycle. This is the 3D. People talking about 5D. Ain't even made it through 3. People ready to leave off of mama. They ready to go. They don't even know how to go. They don't even understand anything about fractals, about the prism, about the L, about the right angle, about how this universe or this reality or seeming reality that you see at the top left, how the fractal, how the rays, the Amtu ray, the light rays, the 9 rays, and how they separate themselves in a period of 7, the colors of the rainbow, the prism, and how this prism creates the shadow or inverts itself. This is the knowledge of the L or the L's. We run around here calling ourselves L, don't even know what L means. If you understand what L means, if you just do a little, get out your head and study a little bit and let it come down. Study ascended master like C. Ra-N-Ell. He explained the L, what the L was. You're looking at it right here, the fractal, and how it creates one reality. And look at the L on the bottom side of the multiverse. It creates an inverse reality. Here's your SWAT sticker. Here's your L. Here's your Milky Way galaxy. Here's your sine wave, all tied into one. Here's the clock. Here's the future. Here's how you can align yourself with your future self and your past self, and you sit in the center. If you understand that you are a spirit or a spiritual being, we say we have spirit, don't even know what it means. I'm showing you the spirit vehicle right in your face. The question is, will you accept it? Do you have enough will, power within yourself to turn your own will, to start taking responsibility for yourself? Stop waiting and sitting back for someone to give you all the answers to the riddle. Not being a troubleshooter, not being a planter, not planting your own seeds, understanding, looking at the sun, the moon, and the stars, figuring out where you are, understanding how to plant your own food, understanding I may need a little bit of this and take a little bit of that away as your plant speaks to you, as you listen, as you watch, as you observe, as you get out of your head, as you use trial and error, as you understand the mechanics of creation. You set it in the center and watch it cycle around and get in alignment with the times of your future self, your past self. You have so many selves. Understanding the language of the angles of the angels is right here. Let's keep going. Understanding that if you sit here and you just pay attention a little bit, Mama Keys is right there. Here's the code right here. Understand what inverses to what. Here's your language. All decoded. In the sine wave. In the math. In the mayat. Your A is equal to your A is equal to your E. 0 is equal to 180 degrees. Same plane. 0 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. It's showing you where the 45 is, that the B is either inverse to the B, that the G is inverse to the C, that the F is inverse to the H. And if you start with the A and you take your alphabet all the way around, you put your Y where you know the Y-axis is, you put your X where your X-axis is, you know 0 and A is the same thing. Here go your language. You can sit there with this right here and decode the whole matrix right there in your face with a degree. And if you don't like the 45-degree chart, I'm going to give you another one. Hold on, I got it right here. I wrote it somewhere. I got another one. Whoever wants to see it, we'll go into that. But I got the 30-degree chart. I know I've shown it. With the alphabet right beside it. To understand how the universe, how the mothership, how she flows. You're in her cockpit now. I'm showing you the controls. I'm showing you the 4 daughters, the core. I'm showing you the 2 sisters sitting on the shoulder. The ancestors giving it to us right now. The mothership has dropped. She dropped on it, was it 11:11? I wasn't even paying attention to the day or the time. So we understand the step down transformer. What is a transformer? It transforms power. Your step down pyramid. Your step up pyramid. What are we looking at? We're looking at the keys. We're looking at, if you look at, here's a future forward thinking person. Were they always looking in the future? The one on the right, looking in the future to make decisions for the present. Then you're looking at, on the inverse of it, a person who's always looking back in the past to make decisions of the present. And we're looking at the inner key, the return key. That returns energy right back and cycles right back around so you can do it again. And learn from it, from the experience, through the trial and error, through the repetition, through the ritual. So you can move in and out, forwards and back, up and down, diagonal right, diagonal left. The keys to move the power, the energy, the understand, the bull, the goat, the cow, the Hathor, the Isis, the Neptes, the Sekhmet, the Mayat. You're talking to the Mayatan. I told you, this is a story about a mother and her son. I am her son. She talking through me now. Oh, have you tried to veil our mama? Oh, have you told so many stories? You cut the head off Medusa. Oh, have you told so many lies that the Olympian gods has overthrew our mother Titan? But her son, and she has many. I'm just one of many. Your boy told you. Your boy, what's his name? Rod Wade. He said, Mama, I have many children that can come and tell her story. Tell her story. Because you can't veil our mama. You can't overthrow our mama. Your ship is not bigger than Mama's ship. There is nothing that will birth anything but a mama. As big as Rawhead got, as he jumped off the top of that hill of Lyra, way up there's a bird, there's a little chick, and he soared, and he saw a worm. He strayed away from Mama. Mama told him, boy, don't go down there. Stay right here till I show you some things. But Ra got a little big. He got big-headed. He was full of air, so he took off. He went down. He saw this little worm, so he thought. Through his eye, went down and ate the worm. Little Ra didn't understand that that worm was actually a snake. Ra didn't understand that that snake was growing inside of him. So Ra became get bigger and bigger. Pride, more pride. Since he came from a high nature, he thought he was elite. He thought he was this grand eagle. So Ra was flying one day, and a bigger bird, a big dragon, swallowed him up, flanked him from the right. And the big dragon was boastful and proud. But the big dragon didn't understand that he had a snake inside him. Or she didn't understand she had a snake inside him. She had a bird. So she kept going and flying, and she looked down and she saw a human village. She saw a little kid, little girl. She went down and swallowed her up. And she was very prideful because she was the baddest thing on the block. She didn't understand that she had all these three beings going inside of her. But one day, miraculously, she had a baby. And that baby came out with all the things that she ate. And when this being came out, this being had characteristics of all these beings mixed inside. It was a new being, a Nubian. And as this Nubian or this new race sprang out, and all this power and this glory and this wisdom, it came back to see that there was other beings that was way more advanced, smarter than it. And they had to do a self-reflection and look and say, wow, as great as I thought I was, there's something always bigger and better. But we are what we eat. And the universe is what it eats. And if we put imbalanced things in our body, there will be mutations. There will be new creations and new beings. But in all this chaos, Mama and her wisdom, as she carried these kingdoms and all this glory on top of her head, she could have stood on top of all of this, but she stood under. Because even though she had the wisdom to know all these things, she should have stood. That she needed to let it come down, all the way down and pass all the way through her, and get the experience of it all and be it all before she can empathize with it all. And with that, I'm going to show this one last thing, and we're going to bring it all together, because we are all together. And through this lesson that Mama gave me, and us as we share it together. I want us to understand that that whole celestial egg and its mappings with its billions and billions and billions and trillions of stars, its billions and billions and trillions of galaxies, beings, beingness, gas, liquids, solids, densities, it all can be summed up with love. That is the true magnetism and magic of Mama. She don't discriminate. She takes care of all her kids and all her creations, and she sustains it all effortlessly. She takes responsibility. She ain't making no excuses. She know her children got to eat. She not looking to be no victim. She just looking to do what she knows she need to do that day. And when she had multiple children, she knew how to distinguish the unique abilities and disabilities of them all. And she manages it all. And she makes all of them feel important. She makes all of them feel included. And she understands that if she keeps herself in good health and at peace and center, and don't worry about all the chaos going on outside of her house. She knows she do all those things, that she gonna put out some quality beings that's gonna be balanced. They're gonna know how to choose and pick from all sides and pull the ingredients that they need and pull it to the center. Give it time to break apart, cycle around. Give it time for the motherboard, for the conduit, for the energy to run and cycle. And she understands the rhythm of each child and the rhythm of herself. She understands the importance of maintaining her responsibilities, but not losing herself at the same time. She understands that she needs rest too. She understands that it ain't all about her children. I'm going to give them a piece of me, and I'm going to keep a piece for myself. She understands that if she don't love herself, that she can't show love to nobody else. And she understands that if she shows responsibility, respect, she listens, she empathizes with her children. She understands that her children will show her love back. And that's all she needs. She understands she will be complete. So she ain't worried, because she understands that everything is great. Everything is as is. Because she is the great I am. The great I am. And we all are the great I am. And through this example that I'm sharing, there is no way that Ra-N-Ell could have put all these pieces to this puzzle together and show the macro, the micro, and all that is between, and how it all comes into singularity in one point. There's no way I could understand the oneness of all things unless I am a part of it, unless this is a part of me, unless she is a part of me, unless you are a part of me, unless I understand the ant is a part of me, the bird is a part of me, the roach is a part of me, the wood is a part of me. It's all alive. It all has the intelligence of this one great divine creator and all of her sisters and mothers and daughters. Because this great feminine energy, this great mothership, been just sitting, waiting for one of us to crank her up. And we all did. We all cried out. That's the Christ, the cry out. We cried out to Mama, Mama Nature, Mama Cosmos. We know we are your children. Help us come together as one. And I'm coming together to do my part, my sharing, because I'm only just one grain in this infinite sand, this infinite beach of sand, water, and air, space, sun, moon, darkness, light, and peace. And with that, I crunk the ship up. We all crunk it up. She hovering. She humming. It's time for us to go. Where are we going? We're going to cooperate with one another. Integrate with one another. Know that we are all one and we can do all things together. It's hard to do it all by yourself. And when you think you by yourself, you ain't by yourself. You never by yourself. You always have support. And with that, I'm going to close out with this mothership and just open up the floor for anybody who want to say anything, who want to add, who have any questions. Love.
Okay. Well, definitely, of course, you came with a great another share that I want to just say that I thank you and appreciate you for coming on to give us this knowledge and to help us with our study a little bit more, to study a little further into and think deeper into things that maybe we have not given any thought of, or maybe some people may have, but just wasn't really connecting the information, and I'm hoping that this information helped things connect for them, because I know it has for me. I definitely know, and me and you have talked about that as well, that there's a lot of connections that have been taking place. And one thing that I wanted to ask you was about, you was talking about the inversions, and you showed the two maps, and you showed, I guess one was kind of upside down, or was it to the sideways? And I know me and you spoke on this. Now, I don't know if you're going to go deeper on this one, or will this be another share. I don't want to let the cat out the bag if this is something else that you want to talk about at another time. But me and you spoke on this, and about, everyone's been talking about, the pole shift, and, what's going on as far as when is it happening? Because we know there's an inner pole shift happening along with the outer pole shift. As you very well explained, there's always an inner alchemical process, something going on. At the same time, there's something going on the outside of us, and we tend to get caught up on the outside and never look on the inside. So I just wanted to see if you wanted to speak about that on this one. That's fine, because I've seen the picture, you brought it up, so I just was wondering.
Sure. Let's just look at that for a second. Very, very, very important concept what you're talking about. And what I'm going to do for people, if they want, I think I'm going to have some advanced classes and start to go into some depth with those who, are serious about study, that's serious about opening up that's serious about, emptying their cup and refilling it with something fresh. I do not like the regurgitation of information. Listen what the word says. Information. Four. Talked about the four daughters, which I want to start something like that. Now, I'm not thinking about this so much so to map it out all the way, but I just want to draw the example and to stretch everyone's mind out a little bit and show you what we actually looking at, and understanding a little bit about reflections, the prism, and inversions. Because there are many, you are a multi-dimensional being, meaning consciousness or awareness or beingness is exactly what the word says. What is a beingness? A state of being, solid, liquid, gas. So when you have these 9 noble gases, you have these 9 noble liquids, these 9 noble solids, this completion of 9, and as it breathes and intermixes with each other, this is how you have this whole melting pot of things, and that different things can transmute and mutate out of it. So now, let's get into the L, or the fractal, and to understand what we're looking at. Now, we're looking at these principles here, these pillars. Now, we talked about the direction of way energy flows in, the crossroads. Okay? Now, we just looked at the whole galactic sphere, or the whole celestial sphere, however you want to call it, whatever name you want to use, whatever clicks your fancy. But we know that that Milky Way galaxy is coming straight through here. Right? Now, when we start to get into the ions, or the science of ionic bonding, because this is still dealing with your cells inside of you, molecular bonding, we got to understand how electrons, protons, neutrons, and nucleuses of cells or nucleuses of galaxies, galaxy clusters, they all work the same. Once you understand one, you understand it all. So now, when we understand what you asked me about, you asked me about inversions. What this means is that this is an algebraic equation. Right here you see Sirius, Orpheus, Scorpius, all that's intertwined, making this 13th zodiac right here, or this center, or this core, or this Mayat. Remember, this is algebra. People say they Moors, right? You say you created algebra. You was the creator of this stuff. Well, okay, think outside of the box. Think about what your signs are. Think about the sign for this thing. It's an equal sign. And the equal sign goes what? In the middle of the equation. Think about what you're looking at right here. A division sign. Division. Here's your division. Now, I just explained that the middle is Mayat, the algebraic equation. Okay? Now, you know you got your X and your Y axis. Let's get a different color. So now, when you understand algebra, you have to understand division and multiplication, order of operations. We're dealing with a machine. You're dealing with a circuit board. You're dealing with a chip or a ship. Okay? This is technology. This is not guessing. All things can be solved using Mayat or using balance. Now notice, I just showed you the division sign. What is division? Division means I want to divide this whole pie. The 5-star, 6-star, 7-star, 8-star, 3-star, doesn't matter. Being, we know we can break this whole pie up into slices. But understand the L, the fractal, this piece of the pie, this L or this 90-degree angle. Notice what I just created. A Vesica Pisces. A Vesica Pisces is what? An opening, a vagina, flowing in. When we understand prisms and how imaging works, or mirror imaging, you can do this right on your phone. We all have it. When light comes through here, we told you light is coming through this way, the universe moving and rotation this way. As the wheel is turning, so understand that what you have right here is a wheel. She is a wheel. This goddess is a wheel. Now, this energy, when you understand what mirror imaging is, you understand when you want to image something or create is equal but opposite, you will have to move it on the other side of the equation. Which is here. Another right angle. What this is going to create is the same but opposite reaction. Remember the gametes. Remember meiosis. Meiosis is done before mitosis, and it's only done in a woman. A man don't create meiosis. He can't do it. It's not in his DNA. It's not in his function. So within this, you have energy flowing in and flowing out on both sides. This is the mirror imaging of things. But this also shows you that when you are here, when you're this being, whatever you are, your beingness, that the opposite and equal being will be created on this side of the mirror. Because this hyperbole is creating, the way that it works, is creating, this is where the Holy Cross comes from. This knowledge of the L. Because you're going to understand that there are 4 of these sisters. So an L is created here also. Here's your future L or Elv, magical being. And we understand that on the other side, of course, the same thing inversely will happen. So this creates your wheels. Now, when people want to understand to be in alignment with themselves or be in alignment with their elves or their magical beingness, these are the things that you have to understand to get in alignment, because this is also a clock or a compass. It's giving you latitude, longitude. When I showed you the celestial sphere, when we go deeper into that, it has coordinates on it. Here's the same coordinates that's on your zodiac. Just like the master or the master teacher, C. Ra-N-Ell told you. He told you in the book of Ruth. Mother, Zachariah, Mother Zedekiah, Mother Zodiac, is the key to the wheel. These are these wheels y'all keep talking about, chakra wheels, if you want to call it that. But the science is much deeper than that, because you understand that whatever's happened to this being, inversely going to happen to this one. And whatever happens to this being, inversely going to happen to this one. So if you're not in alignment with all your different beingness, and it's really right there encoded on your zodiac, but most people can't see it and they can't think this that deep, because why? They surrender their will to someone else. They allow other people to govern over them and become their government because they don't understand the law. What is the law? Length, area, and width. That's the law. So when you understand the law, and you understand, I self am law, I self law and master, you understand the I that's been created. What is the I? What I've been teaching you, showing you, the I, with the singularity point. Here's your I. You want to put your head up here. You want the energy to be up there. You want to be big-headed or whatever you want to be. Put your dot on it. There go your I. I am. You want to see the A. Okay, I'll show you the A. When you know your 30-degree curve is here. You know that your 60-degree curves is up here. And your 90 is at the top. Uh-oh. Your 90 is at the top. When you know your degree, okay, I can start to make my A. I ain't got that many colors. But anyway, when we understand what we're looking at, and we know how we do our imaging, we understand the sisters, really 6 of them, your 6 pillars, okay? Then you start to draw your triune, okay? Think about this. Your A. Put all my different points so I can see everything. Right there, we're going to draw our A. So understand that none of this stuff is drew with really straight lines, done in curves. You got your A, and then here's your M. Already here on your both sides.
Brother Ra-N-Ell, I have a quick question for you. So when you're talking about the inverse, like how you're doing then, so would you say, because as we're explaining, the shifts and what's going on in the inverse, and we right now when you had the map, you were talking about the 2 map inverses. Would you say then, and I just want to make sure we explain it to the people, that the inverse Earth or the 5D Earth or the new shift Earth, because of what you're explaining right now, was always going on at the same time, parallel to what was going on here? And were we already there at the same time we were already here?
Ask that one more time. Say that one more time, please.
I was saying, okay, you just explained the maps, and you were showing how the flip of it, and you had the inverse, and now you're talking about the 4 daughters, and you showed the L's, and so you were showing what happens in one place is somewhere else on, and the opposite, whatever happens to one. Is that also the same with the map in the Earths and the split in the 5D Earth? What happens somewhere?
Everything follows. That's law. It's law. It's no different if I sit here and I take a picture of myself and you do it on your phone and you hit the mirror button on your phone. Let's do it. Let's take a picture. Anytime. Let me see. Let's take this. Let's hit edit. Okay. When you hit this button right here, on the top, your mirroring buttons. If I hit this mirror, it just flips it right over. Exact same picture. It just facing a different direction. Now I can mirror it again, inverse it. Now I just turn it 90 degrees. Okay, now I can mirror that again, flip it this way. And then some programs will let you go over the top, back and forth, like I think maybe this will do. Well, no, to give you a different perspective here. But you get the point. This is mirroring. This is fractals. This is, you got a dome above you, a skin. It's just small little triangles doing the same thing we did when we showed with the light bulb last class. You can keep mirroring this and turning this. But understand that if this was a being here, what you calling the top of the globe or the top of the sphere, we are perceiving ourselves as being on the top of the sphere right now, in the middle, on a flat plane, but looking up. But you're not. You're upside down. I can go in it and show you and prove to you that the reality that we know right now is sitting just like I'm showing you this. And the reality that is inverse to this reality is sitting like this. But turned this way. So this is the multi-dimensionality or beingness of us all. Now, what you call a parallel reality on one plane of existence, this will be you. That will be your shadow. Or that will be you on the other side of the mirror. And then if you want to see yourself inverse, what's going on in inverse reality, you flip it all the way and then you turn it 180 degrees. So now you're seeing the pole shift. You're seeing that which was up will come down, and that which is down is going to come up. And I ain't saying that to scare nobody. What I'm trying to tell you is that the being that is you, let's say if you flip everything upside down and you think you're right side up. The being that is you, a part of you, that is turned that direction like that, with this pole shift, with this whole new thing, when it all finished doing what it's going to do, guess what? That being right there is coming up. It's coming up. It's going to be facing like this. It's going to be in the middle plane. You're in the middle plane of existence right now. You're not on the high plane or nothing. You're in Midgard. There are planes below you. There are planes behind, above you. There are planes diagonal to you, and there are planes beside you. There are many planes of existence. When you look at the cosmic egg, look at it. I show it's so much room. And you're only seeing the physical matter. You're not seeing the non-physical. That's how complex existence and non-existence, life, non-life, and the entanglement of it is. That's how complex it is. So they're showing you on this map right here. Look what he's showing you. He's showing you what all is in his DNA. What is all is in his star chart. And that's a she actually, but she's showing you all the things that she's made out of. What is inside of her? What is actually driving her? And she's showing you on top. All these things, that's what this is showing you. A DNA sequence. And he's showing you right here in this picture different realities. What she's made of on these different planes of existences. All these little different cubes or different planes. Planes of what? I just showed everybody. Let's go back to it. Planes of what? Planes of the celestial sphere. This golden egg, this dragon egg. Let's get a 3D version. Showing you all this, what's inside of this. Let's get some names on it so we can see it. Showing you that. He's giving you the star map of him, of her. And we all have it. When you got that zodiac, when you go and you get that reading, and you get that zodiac reading, it's got them, what they call the 6 magical directions, or the 6 directions. Each one of those directions, from the northwest to the southeast, to the northeast, to the southwest, and to the east, west, north, and south, all of those are you, different beingness of you. It's giving you the coordinates of where they are. This is the great secret that people don't want you to really know. How to align yourself with your different selves and come into singularity as one being. The same way mankind on earth is meant, everybody on this planet is meant to figure out that we all one thing, and we're supposed to come into what they call a group thinking, or like a hive mind, or one type of thought. We still maintain our individuality, but we become a community thought, a group thought, a group. They call it a social mind community complex, a spirit mind body complex. When you start to reach those levels, when societies and planets and cosmos, because cosmos can come into unity, a whole fucking galactic can come into singularity, come into unity. Now that's powerful, because now just their thoughts create forms, thought forms, beings. How you think you're in the plane that you're in? It was the community thought. It was the thought of us all in our different form, in our gas form that came here previously before physical manifestation started to set up. This is what you call the logos, or the word, or the birds, the song, the harmony. It's the rules, it's the law that is put in place so that these spiritual beings, or these spirit beings, or these gas beings can take shape and form into matter, into density, into different densities of matter creation. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm sorry.
So getting in that, and really those are really going into more advanced, and that's what I'm gonna save for those who want to go into the advanced studies, because for me to channel all of this, it took a lot of energy out of me. It took a lot, to open myself up like that, to be able to put all this together. Like my girl would tell you, like, I've been basically in a daze all week. Like, she'd say, I've been gone. Like, nobody showed me this. All spirit just led me to all of these pictures, all of this. Nobody put this in my head. I've never seen anybody on this planet present this. And I'm not saying out of arrogance. Maybe they have, and I missed it, but I'm very studious, and I just haven't seen it. I've seen everybody with a little bit in pieces here and there, and taking one little thing that they saw and just making up a bunch of stuff. Or just regurgitating what they heard and using old myths that wasn't even given to you by your ancestors. Somebody just gave you this, and it just sounded good, and you just ran with it. Osiris been cut up into 14 pieces and all that. Those things are not true. Those are myths This is showing you that the galactic is just a galactic story showing you that you don't remember yourself. You don't remember the five, because 14 is 1.1 and 4 is 5. It's just showing you don't remember the 5 galaxies or the primal places where this whole cosmic egg started. You don't remember your story. That's all it's telling you. And then the Quran, where it tells you the greatest remembrance, the greatest is the remembrance of Allah, or the remembrance of yourself. So as you start, as a one being starts to remember self or get into knowing self, all these things are going to present themselves to them. All this going to make sense. It makes sense to me. I don't feel like there's nothing that someone can ask me that I can't bring an answer for. It may take a little time. I ask Spirit, hey, Mama, show me this, show me that, and let the process. I see the process now, and the process can be much more advanced. You can do so much stuff with this. Everything that you see, every product they use the science to do it. And to the average person, they look so sophisticated, so advanced. They are. Because they ain't skipping steps. They're building on top of knowledge. Pouring out and filling up, pouring out and filling up, pouring out and filling up. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. But then some don't have that type of honest intention. I can say that too. A lot of people will hold back all of this. I was tempted to. That's the fear that can set in. That's that power that can set in your head. That's that arrogance that think you special. Oh, you didn't think as this stuff was unfolding to me, I was started to get scared. Oh my God, am I doing or saying something? Somebody will come and assassinate me, or all these thoughts ran through me. All the way up until today. You hear stories of people being executed, burnt at the stake, all of that for way less than what I've just dropped. I'm showing you the whole picture, and then I'm showing you that there are beings on this planet that been knew this. I found all this on Google. And by watching the stars myself. And stop listening to every damn body and what they say. Stop having so much trust. We keep studying about the CQV. It's three trusts. You can't give people your trust like that, yo. Nobody. I trust you enough to go and check behind you. But I don't need to sit in nobody's school for somebody to sit there and make me no fool and fill my head up with anything that they see can be used as a tool. Fill me up with a bunch of gump and lip, thinking I'm going to walk away limp. No, I ain't no pimp. Telling me all kind of stories, allegories, breaking words up into fables and stories. I don't know. But I got to say no. You showed me something black and you said it was a goat. Put horns on it, crossed his legs, then told me no. But when I broke it all down, I saw it was a code. They told me it was 12 zodiacs. I had to break that back. Found it was 13, but 1 and 3 was 4. I had to open up so I can see some more. They told me Aquarius was a water sign, but when I checked it, it was the air. And she fine. They told me they cut off the head of my mama. Said her name was Medusa. But one day I saw her, and her butt was juicy. She had curves. She was beautiful. She ain't even say a word. We just stared at each other. Silence, like a bird. All those things almost gassed me up. made me thought I was special. Till I just talked to a goddess the other night. She said she saw the same thing. I said, oh, I ain't so special. As these things came to me, at one time I started to think I was Christ. Thought I was going to get hung on the cross twice. Only to find out Christ is in all of us twice. I ain't the only one. I ain't the only son. I just shine amongst many ones. When I asked Mama, where I'm from, she said Lyra. I looked up in the sign to see what was inside of her. I saw Vega. Told me vegetation came from there. Made me think. Made me stare. Looked up Lyra's. Saw a beautiful instrument with strings on it. Made me want to play it. But I was frustrated, doggone it. I wanted to skip steps. Didn't want to practice. Well, you know where that got us. Not in the symphony. Sitting on my knees, dreaming how I want to be. Trying to skip steps. Trying to get somewhere. But all I kept doing is wept. So I had to humble myself. One day the name broke down Ra. I started to roar like the lion. Raw. Had to be broke down off of that. Started reading and seeing the law of one. And I heard somebody was hollering that same name way back. Then I just found out that I was just a fraction of that. Made me lay back down on my mat. Humbled me. Showed me I needed to practice on my rap. So in my struggle and learning how not to be the blame, and not to play the blame game and the victim, I had a few brothers and sisters that came along with a little bit of rhythm and wisdom. They said, little boy, you want to play that instrument, you're going to have to do more. You're going to have to practice. You're going to have to loosen up. You're going to have to get out of your head and get into your gut. My brother told me, practice until you don't have to think no more. It becomes natural. It becomes a part of you. But I wanted to skip steps. I ain't have a clue of what to do. After some time of crying and looking and whining, I had to look back, look in the mirror, look inside of me. I said, boy, you lazy. You like to procrastinate. That type of attitude, you can never be great. Oh boy, you like to point the fingers and look at everybody else. You heard the old saying, you got 3 or 4 pointing back at yourself. I wanted to be God so bad. But I never really looked in the mirror. Because I ain't want to be sad. Because when I learned all this and seen all this power material, I had to see one thing that was standing right in the mirror. If this is all God, it's got to be the devil too. So if I got God in me, I got the devil in me too. So I had to stare the devil right in the mirror. Try to kill her. But she didn't want to fear me. So I had to integrate and understand that God and the devil is in the same woman and man. with that saying, I'm going to send a stamp. And that's my little poem off the cuff. I hope it was enough.
that was an amazing poem, and we learn something new about you. I swear, every time that you come, you're either showing us something new, or now we know that you write poems. Because I know you do music as well, and I know you do art, but I didn't know about poetry. So, but something, we all are amazing people, so we have so many gifts. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, listen, this is as much action I got since I've been on this planet, so I'm just feel grateful. I got a small audience, whether if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 people, you know what I mean, so I could just be me, just let it all out, let it go,
right?
Get out of that tightness, all that fear, man. That fear, it will constrict you, it will stop all of your dreams, all of this talk, and a lot of it, I was listening to you the other night, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and you were interviewing, I was listening to the replay of you and the Empress, Sade, and what's her name?
Phoenix Star?
Man. Yes.
And Adora.
The Phoenix Star, yeah. I like that name. So, and that's another name for the Great Mother. As you showed, when I go into detail, I show more pictures, we can see the dragon, you can see the phoenix, you can see all those things. And so, but I was listening to, when you was talking to her, and you were saying, you was emphasizing with very much wisdom, you wanted to emphasize no fear mongering, no fear speech, no, that type of vibration and energy. And I just resonate with that so much, because this seeking has given me a sense of peace. It hasn't given me a sense of power where I want to go out here and use anything against anybody. I don't want to be praised. I don't want nobody to start jumping up and say, oh, this guy, he's so smart, he this, he that. I ain't none of those things. I'm struggling just like everybody else. I'm learning just like everybody else. I got my memory wiped clean just like everybody else. But one thing I can say, that one thing when I was a little boy, in my imagination, I just knew it was more. It's got to be more than this. And that's how I got here. Just that hope, that dream, that cry out. Mama, I know it's more than this. I know I'm more than this. I've done some bad things, I've done some great things, but I know this journey can't be over like this. And she proved me right. She proved me left, she proved me center, she proved me up, she proved me down, in all different degrees and directions, simultaneously. So anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, again, you can either *6 if you're on the phone, or you can unmute yourself if you have any questions and stuff. And because other than that, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. It's 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Yep. We're going to wrap it up.
Great, I got that out of me. She dumped that, and I had to be silent. This is the last thing I want to say, that as much talking as we love to do, as much judging as we love to do, Mama likes just as much silence and just as much non-judgment. The non-judgment is the key. It's the key. It's the key to finish. The non-judgment. The getting out of duality. The only way you get out of it is the non-judgment.
Exactly.
All things necessary, all things are needed. The free will is the free choice, is the range of choice and potential. This free will, this free choice gives us the potential and the range and the movement to make what you would call a mistake, or to not, because there's no mistakes, it's just critique. We just fine tune our estimates. The instruments get out of tune. I don't care. If you play an instrument, it's going to get out of tune. So
That's
you
right.
constantly have to retune it. And if you're on the stage playing, guess what? Sometimes you got to lower your volume. You have to lower the intensity of your stroke so you ain't playing so loud to let somebody else shine. Let them, you know, get their little moment. And then they step back and we all playing together. And we just take a little time. One person will step out there and everybody else will quiet down. They bring their volume down. I have my little moment to shine. And guess what? Everybody going to stand out there in that crowd. We're going to all party together.
Yeah.
It's just simple once we get out of so much division.
Man, you hit it right, the nail right on the head. You know, we were just talking about this today because some of the people in the group realized at the Moors News Network, just because it's called Moors News Network doesn't mean everybody in there are Moors. It's all different types of nationalities in there, and people didn't even know that. They didn't even have a clue. Right.
We want more. We want everybody. Because what you saying? We brag about all the time. We taught people this. We taught people that. So we will always have been a sharing people. If all the myths and stories are correct, and because we kind of feel that they are. Okay, so we went into Europe, or we took beings that wasn't quite at the stage that we were at the time. Look how we shared what we knew.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Look how we built. Now, the only reason why we ain't shining, because we ain't sharing no more. We didn't let a bump in the road cause us to clam up and tighten up and get out of the love spirit that we had, that partying spirit where we could go to a cookout, to a party together. We visited each other. We had a big mama. The families used to meet up. We had family reunions. We went on family trips. You knew your neighbor. If you knew when your neighbor needed something. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so in the chat they said they missed those times. They just said that in the chat. They missed that.
It's still right here for us to grab. And that's what this time is about. This is what the judgment is about. It's about Mama gave us this so that we can see we all one and we can share, and there's enough room for everything. The ants, the birds, the bees, all of this stuff is important. Just as important as the humanoid. And so when we stand, and I hated to leave out the Father, but man, you've been shining a long time now. You've been shining too long. It's been too many kings. You've been the Khan, the priest king. You've been shining. The son son, sit down. Sit down, son. Let your mama talk. So it's time for mama to talk. I want to hear mama for a little while. And if she whipped my ass, she just whipped my ass. But I need mama for a little bit. Daddy, you've been the father, whoever you are. You showed us what you about and what you can do. And but it's a new time now. I could not be talking how I'm talking if it wasn't mama time to shine.
You got that right.
So it's only mama that can heal us now. Daddy, he do what he do. He'll go and get that money. And he'll look at you a little funny every now and then. He can be this and he can be that. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing to replace mama. I don't care who you is.
You got that right.
I miss you, mama.
That's amazing. You've definitely been breaking it down and bringing it back home, literally. Bringing it back home, literally. Bringing it back to family.
Because we see her story in all of our stories.
Right.
We see why we're going through what we're going through. Look at your sisters. Look at your mamas. Look at your cousins. Look what we're doing to each other. fussing, being petty. Everybody trying to be right. And I just showed you what right is. Right is an L, right in the corner, by yourself, over in the shadow in the darkness. Go on over there. You want to be right? I want to be centered. I want to be able to go any direction to pull from any side that I need to balance whatever situation I need to balance out now. Right. And if I'm going to use right, I'm going to say right now. I'm in this corner, right in this corner. I need to get out. And I can't keep going right to get out when I took right to get in the corner. When I try to go left, go up, go down, go a different way. But just keep going right and being right. This is right where we at. And it don't feel good to nobody on the planet. No matter what race. Don't matter if you win the race. You still didn't feel good about it. Because you was out there cheering by yourself. There were 30 other people in the race. Why we all can't celebrate just because we were just out there having fun together. All this competition. First to go where? You see this big celestial sphere we looking at? You can't even count the galaxies, let alone the stars and the planets and the elements that's in it and all the different beingness that's in it. You can't even imagine. You can't even come up with the language that can compute it. And this is just one amongst an infinite amount. Slow down, mankind, womankind. Humble yourself. Get out your third eye since you want to talk about it so much. It's blinding you. You got a whole body. Your head is just an input center and an output center. One of many. So with that, I'm going to close it out because that was the mothership. She dropped 1111 right in y'all portals, as you like to talk about. She dropped her baby, Miss Pac-Man. She dropped it. And she dropped it on all of us. Because this right here is in the ether. This has been witnessed by at least 3 people. You listening. It's etched. Mama's teachings. And guess what? Whoever don't like it, I don't care. You didn't get to kill her word before it got out. You didn't hang this one on the cross. One got past you. As were many more. So I want all my goddesses, man, let's take this in. Share it is. I just dropped 4. 4 daughters. That's a completion. That's a cycle. We can turn that to a diamond or we can turn it to an hourglass. A hyperbole, however you want to spin it. But if we take that lesson that Mama Earth, Mama Cosmos, Mama Universe, we take this right here lightly and just pass right over it and don't give it no kind of respect and ponderance, if she spank her tail, I'm just going to sit back and watch it all and take my licks. Because we deserve it. You don't turn your back on your mama, no matter what. You have empathy. Look at her struggle. She done been through some shit too. Probably way more than you. So before we so in a hurry to leave this 3D Mama Earth, let's try to help heal her first. Let's try to repair. Let's be an adult. Let's be an adept. Let's don't be no minors. Let's don't be no children. throwing trash and stuff all on the floor and not picking it up, leaving it for mama to pick up. So you think we about to just ease up out of here without healing? Without trying to help heal mama? If you hurting, she hurting. If you feel disrespected, you know your mama Earth feel disrespected. Look how she talking. Look how she's shaking now. So before we make this grand exit, because a lot of us ain't, we're going to return right back in her car. That karma, we coming right back to do it again. But those of us who can center stand, integrate, become light again, let some of this distortions and the density, let's defecate it out, make ourselves light as we descend out of the womb, out of the vagina of mama. I ain't never seen nothing with a womb birth out of their damn head. All this ascension talk. You got to go out of the womb first. And then circle back around and grow up into something new. You're going to get out the same way you came in. Now I just dropped all the master keys to turn on mama's mothership. Now activate. Because I can't do it for you. I can only activate me. Goddess, I'm going to close out with that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Again, look, I say thank you so much. I'm going to try to see if I can mute everybody so they can say thank you as well. I hope I might not be able to unmute. Empress Sheila L, I am trying. I don't know if it's something about your mic. I could never get your mic to unmute. Empress Phoenix, because she was on the line. She was listening. Are you there?
Oh, ma'am, I was glued to my computer. Ra-N-Ell, you confirmed something for me tonight. Something someone gave me. They didn't tell me why. And I posted it in the room, too. It was about the upside down world. It was about the upside down world. I posted that in the room, and I'm going to repost it after listening to you tonight. Now I understand why they gave it to me. That's how the relationship me and this person have. They don't tell me everything, but they're like, hey, I want you to check this out. And it's for a reason, but they don't tell me. And it just, I wondered about it, but when you showed this today, it confirmed it.
It all came together.
They want you to keep seeking. They want you to keep seeking, so they give us clues.
Yeah.
And the people who we keep saying they, you know, that people love to hate.
Yeah, this is
look at the contributions
Sheila.
these beings have done around here.
Oh, there you
I'm
are.
sitting here.
Yeah.
You know, we got to thank everybody.
Yeah.
And Empress Sheila is on, too. She couldn't unmute. She finally was able to unmute. I'm sorry, Ronnie. I just wanted her to...
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Empress Sheila.
Hello.
Hey, speak your
Peace
piece.
and love.
Goddess, I want to hear your voice. I want to hear it.
Yeah. I can't stand when I be kind of occupied on Fridays with you know, my new friends and all my new brothers and sisters. You know, they want to know about the new DeLoreans and all that. So it's just, yeah, but I love it though.
Well, you got, you know, go back on these tapes and take your pictures because I just gave everybody all the clues to these lower realms. You have the constellations right here.
Yeah.
You know, and you can start doing your own math, your own NIAC, working these equations, and you can start lining things and people and spaces and all these things up so you can start working your little magic. You see what I'm saying? Now, certain things I'm not going to talk about out in the open public because people have the tendency to misuse things. You see what I'm saying? So when we have our little trusted group, you know, that we know each other and we start to share, and then we'll start going deeper into some of those things. But we have to be real careful and be very responsible with what these beings and our higher selves and lower selves give us, because everybody ain't ready for everything at the same time.
Right. That's right. Those would be private. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, I don't mean to hold anyone up. You've done excellent. I know if you're on the East Coast, it's probably past 10 o'clock. So I just wanted everybody to be able to say something, because a lot of times it's on mute and they can't unmute themselves. I was trying to unmute. I'm having a hard time. Just to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the information, the knowledge. And definitely can't wait to have you on again. And I just wanted them to be able to, you know, say something, a little something to you.
Yeah, you know, that makes me feel good, because, you know, I'm on this end, and I did this for myself and for the people. So to hear, you know, people, just the appreciation, hey, you know, thank you, you did a good job, that's enough gas for me. You know what I'm saying? To keep going. Because sometimes you put a lot into something, right? And, you know, you give your best effort and you put something out there, and then nobody, you know, even has a chance to say thank you. Sometimes that can be very deflating for anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like you,
yeah, because you don't even know if you're touching anybody. Like, is people really listening?
Yeah, you know, and then when we look on the reviews and stuff like that, which I don't pay attention to stuff like that, you know, ain't many people really watch this. You know what I mean? Ain't many people, you know, really got a chance to hear this in the totality. So even just for one person to say, I got it. Man, I'm jumping up and down. Like, I feel like I didn't save somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I feel great. And that's
I've been typing the whole time you've been teaching this whole night. I've been typing the whole time. I was looking. It was great.
Yeah, and you know something, I think a lot of people are going to, because this is some higher advanced stuff, they're going to see it, and some people are going to have to get to that level of understanding. So, you know, it'll be in time. It'll be in time. You probably, it's going to be more and more. But there's a certain amount of people, as far as this small group and doing things private, you know, we may be able to gather enough people to get that going on. And as more people look at this, they will. And they'll come more and more.
I'm interested.
Okay. Well, we're going to set it up.
With me, everybody would ask me when I was in high school, where's your spaceship, Miss Sheila? Yeah, they always ask me that. Where's your spaceship? Because I'll be talking about the cosmos. Yeah, all the time. When I was, it's more worlds out there, y'all. Gotta get ready for when we see them. Don't be scared.
Right.
It's just you in a different form.
What were you going to say, Ra? You were going to say something before we leave. What were you going to say?
I'll give y'all a preview, because this is like I said, this is the end of that series, the Great Mother introduction. But I want to get out of the head, so I want to give y'all some that I'm planning to bring forward and share. And I want to get into what I call Kundalini Genie. And what Kundalini Genie is, the movements of all of this. It's one thing to philosophize in the mind, but the Great Mother has showed me her movements. How do you apply this to your body? How do you apply this so that it becomes more automatic and it's not no thinking involved? Because these are your cells that you're dealing with when you look in the microcosm. So as you get energy to move in the macro, that's why they map the whole world to as above. Because they want to have this whole world in alignment with above. So we're going to get into some movements. We're going to get into some exercise, some type of yoga. I don't call it yoga. I call it more dancing. We're going to get into some dancing, some dances of the goddesses. Let's call it that. So we're going to take it to some fun. We're going to get out the mind, and we're going to have fun. We're going to ride this wave on out, having fun, and smiling, and being at peace.
That's right. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And again, like I said, thank you guys. Thank you for everybody. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you, Noble. Whenever you do have something else coming up and available, we'll just put that package together so we can, push it out there to the people, so then they'll know, and we'll start getting people that are, ready for that smaller class, that more intimate class. We'll get them together as well. And thanks everybody for tuning in. When you see this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, okay, and leave your comments and any questions that you may have, or anything that you want to add to the conversation, because maybe you might have a little bit of information and knowledge yourself that you want to add. We love to hear from you. I know Brother Ra-N-Ell love to hear from you. He just said it today. So make sure you do that when you guys see this information. And I'll leave the final thoughts to you before we say peace and love.
Peace and love.
All right. That's it. Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.